Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. I hope everyone is enjoying their day. Please subscribe and like the video before continuing. Why and our spoilers, Audra's new partnership rises with Kane's empire. The Young and the Restless spoilers reveal that Kane Ashby, Billy Flynn, is in Genoa City and looking for alliances. What is this? The man has already partnered up with Billy Abbott, Jason Thompson, and Phyllis Summers, Michelle Stafford. Who will be next? Could it actually be Audra Charles, Zuleika Silver? Keep reading and let's talk about what could happen next in the CBS soap opera. Trigger warning, this post includes mentions of suicide. If you are having thoughts of self-harm, please call 911. Kane Ashby's return. Let's start off with Kane's return to Genoa City. Despite 3 men being dead, the tycoon refuses to give up. For a bit, Kane seemed explosively angry after Carter's, Vincent Stabla, betrayal and suicide. Everyone is furious with Kane even though he didn't kill Damian Kane, Jermaine Rivers, and Chance Chancellor, Connor Floyd. Even so, nobody would have died that day if Kane hadn't had this mysterious party in the first place. In any case, Kane has already made alliances with Billy and Phyllis. So, what comes next? Victor Newman's termination. Audra was one person who left the party with some business losses. The brunette wasn't able to fulfill her side of the deal with Victor. The patriarch demanded that Audra break up Kyle Abbott, Michael Mealer, and Claire Grace Newman, Haley Aaron. Audra wasn't able to make it work, though. Despite her smooth talking, Victor not only cancelled their deal, but ordered Audra to pay back the money he had already given her for La Bronte. Kyle Abbott's gloating. The Young and the Restless spoilers reveal that Kyle is already gloating to Audra. The brunette is trying to cover, but just ends up spewing her fury all over the place. What is this? At the same time, she needs to keep her cool around Nate Hastings, Sean Dominic. Once he finds out that she was making intimate moves on Kyle, he could rethink the entire relationship. Kyle might gloat now, but soap characters have a way of getting a taste of their own medicine. Audra Charles's new alliance? With Audra losing so much, and about to lose more, she will need someone to give her a chance. There is no one in Genoa City that will work with Audra considering her past. If she had refused Victor's deal and warned Kyle or Claire, then it might be different. So, if someone is going to give her a chance, it must be someone new. Perhaps someone like Kane? Now, how would Phyllis and Billy react to having to partner with Audra? Share your thoughts in the comment section below. Keep watching the soap on CBS or Paramount Plus to find out what happens next. YNR spoilers, Audra's new partnership rises with Kane's empire? Audra Charles has never been one to play small in Genoa City, but if the latest whispers are true, she's about to take her ambition to an entirely new level, one that could reshape the city's business and romantic landscape forever. With her cunning instincts, unapologetic charm, and ability to align herself with power players, Audra may soon find herself at the center of a game-changing alliance with none other than Kane Ashby. While Kane has been out of the Genoa City spotlight for quite some time, the idea of him making a major return with a growing empire at his back has fans buzzing. Could Audra be positioning herself to ride his rising tide and secure her dominance in both business and personal power circles? The very thought has left viewers speculating wildly about how such a pairing could shake up the Young and the Restless in ways that few could anticipate. Audra has been playing multiple sides for months now, juggling loyalties and making calculated moves to ensure she's never without options. Her dealings with Nate Hastings, Kyle Abbott, and even Tucker McCall have proven she knows how to flirt with danger while securing her own interests. But the arrival, or re-arrival, of Kane could be an entirely different kind of game. Kane's history in Genoa City is filled with both scandal and redemption arcs, from his tangled past with Lily Winters to his brushes with corporate intrigue at Chancellor Industries. If he returns with an expanded empire, Audra's instinct would almost certainly tell her that this is an opportunity she can't ignore. The big question isn't whether she would partner with him, it's what she'd be willing to risk to make it happen. In a world where one wrong move can destroy reputations and fortunes, Audra would have to tread carefully. But she's proven time and again that she thrives when the stakes are high. A potential Audra-Kane partnership could have layers upon layers of complexity. First, there's the business side. If Kane has managed to build a lucrative new network, possibly in Australia, perhaps with connections that stretch into industries Genoa City's elite haven't yet tapped, then Audra could act as his stateside strategist. Her knowledge of Newman media, her time working under Victor Newman's shadow, and her knack for controlling narratives could be exactly what Kane needs to cement his influence back in the city. But this wouldn't just be a professional arrangement. Given Audra's history of using charm as much as strategy, it's easy to imagine her relationship with Kane heating up quickly. The chemistry between these two could be combustible. Kane, for all his flaws, has always been a man who exudes charisma when he wants to, and Audra would undoubtedly notice. Romantic entanglement could make their partnership all the more unpredictable, and potentially explosive if past lovers like Lily, or current rivals like Nate, decided to get involved. Lily's potential reaction alone could add a whole other storyline dimension. She has a long and complicated history with Kane, and while she's currently building her own life and career, seeing him in Genoa City again, especially tied to someone as cunning and unapologetic as Audra, could push old emotions to the surface. Would Lily see it as a personal betrayal? Would she even consider stepping in to warn Kane about Audra's manipulative tendencies, or would she watch from a distance, unwilling to get caught in the crossfire? Meanwhile, Nate could view this as an encroachment on his own territory. Audra and Nate's dynamic has been tense for weeks, and if she were to shift her attention toward Kane, it could leave Nate feeling sidelined or even threatened. This could drive him to retaliate in ways that might jeopardize her new alliance before it even begins. And then there's Victor. The Newman patriarch doesn't take kindly to outsiders building influence in Genoa City without his say-so. If Kane's return with a growing empire put him in Victor's sights, Audra could find herself caught between maintaining her new partnership and appeasing the most powerful man in town. That's a dangerous balancing act, even for someone as fearless as Audra. On a deeper level, this potential storyline could explore what Audra really wants. She's often been portrayed as someone who's always looking for the next big opportunity, the next rung up the ladder, the next power play. But aligning with Kane could be more than just another business deal. It could be a test of whether she's willing to build something lasting or if she's doomed to keep hopping from one alliance to another until she burns too many bridges to recover. Kane, too, would face his own questions. After everything he's been through, would he truly be able to trust someone like Audra? Or would he see her as a useful partner whose loyalty would only last as long as the prophets did? The slow reveal of their intentions could make for some of the most compelling scenes The Young and the Restless has offered in months, with boardroom negotiations giving way to late-night strategy sessions where personal and professional lines blur. Fans are already speculating about possible subplots. Could this partnership be a way to reintroduce elements of Chancellor Industries into the forefront of the show? Might it pit Audra and Kane against the Abbotts, particularly if Jabot and Chancellor's interests collide? Could we even see Tucker McCall circling back into the mix either to disrupt their plans or to leverage them for his own gain? And what about Devon Hamilton? His connection to Chancellor Winters, his family ties, and his protective streak when it comes to Lily could pull him straight into this brewing storm. He might see Kane's return as both a personal and professional threat, especially if it means Lily is once again within Kane's orbit. On the romantic front, Audra's potential pairing with Kane could ignite jealousies across the board. Men who once thought they understood her could be caught off guard by the depth, or deception, of her new relationship. And women who faced off against her in the past might suddenly find themselves needing to decide whether to ally with her for mutual benefit or take her down before she consolidates too much power. In true Genoa City fashion, nothing would be as straightforward as it seemed. A single deal could set off a chain reaction, boardroom rivalries, romantic entanglements, unexpected betrayals, that ripples across the city. And if Kane is indeed building something bigger than anyone expects, Audra's decision to tie herself to him could either be her smartest move yet or the one that finally leads to her downfall. Viewers have long suspected that Audra's true talent isn't just in manipulation, it's in adaptability. She's able to pivot at a moment's notice, making the best of whatever situation she finds herself in. But Kane's world might not be so forgiving. If she overplays her hand or underestimates his own capacity for strategic thinking, she could find herself outmaneuvered for the first time in a long while. One of the most tantalizing possibilities is that Audra and Kane's partnership could become a true power couple dynamic, something Genoa City hasn't seen in quite some time. While we've had plenty of strong business duos, few have managed to combine high-stakes corporate drama with equally high-stakes romantic intrigue in a way that grips audiences week after week. If done right, this storyline could cement both characters as central players for the foreseeable future. In the meantime, the suspense is half the fun. Fans will be watching closely for any hint of Kane's return and for the first signs that Audra is making moves toward this new alliance. Will she play it cool, testing the waters before diving in? Or will she go all in from the start, determined to secure her place beside him before anyone else can? Whatever the case, one thing is certain, in Genoa City, power is always up for grabs, and Audra Charles has never been afraid to reach for it with both hands. If Kane Ashby is indeed on the verge of reclaiming his empire, the combination of his resources and her ruthless determination could be unstoppable or utterly disastrous. Either way, it promises to be must-watch television. YNR spoilers, Audra's new partnership rises with Kane's empire? Audra Charles has never been content with simply existing in the background of Genoa City's constant whirlwind of power plays, love affairs, and betrayals. She thrives in chaos, thrives when the boardroom is her battlefield and personal relationships are pawns in a much larger game. But whispers around town suggest that she's about to embark on her most daring move yet, aligning herself with a returning figure whose reappearance could flip the business and romantic dynamics of the city upside down. The man in question? Kane Ashby, a name that still carries weight in every corner of Genoa City despite his years away. His past is steeped in drama, from romantic scandals to corporate warfare, and if rumors are to be believed, Kane isn't coming back empty-handed. He's rumored to have built a sprawling empire far beyond the reach of Newman Enterprises, Jabot, or Chancellor Winters, with connections that span continents and industries that the Genoa City elite have barely touched. If Kane is on the verge of making a power move, Audra is exactly the kind of operator who would see the potential and strike before anyone else has even realized the game has changed. Audra's recent track record shows her uncanny ability to play both sides until she can determine the true winner. She's danced around Tucker McCall's schemes, toyed with Nate Hastings' trust, and even positioned herself as someone Kyle Abbott couldn't quite figure out. Every time she seemed on the verge of losing, she would pivot, adapt, and come out ahead, if not in power, then in options. That flexibility is what makes her such a dangerous player. In her mind, power isn't just about control, it's about always having somewhere to go when the floor drops out beneath you. Kane's empire, whatever shape it takes, could be her perfect next move. But the question isn't just whether Kane and Audra could work together, it's whether they could survive each other. Kane's history has shown he's no fool when it comes to spotting manipulation, and he's been burned before by trusting the wrong people. His relationship with Lily Winters was marked by love and betrayal in equal measure, and while the two shared genuine passion, Kane's choices often left them both in turmoil. Those experiences may have made him more cautious, more deliberate about who he lets into his inner circle. That's where things get interesting, because Audra's approach is the exact opposite. She thrives on momentum, on jumping in before anyone else has had the chance to weigh the pros and cons. She might see Kane's caution as a challenge to overcome, and he might view her ambition as both an asset and a threat. If the two do align, their partnership could be a masterclass in calculated risk. On the business front, this could mean consolidating influence in ways Genoa City hasn't seen in years. Imagine Kane leveraging overseas connections in luxury goods, tech, or even media, while Audra acts as the face and strategist stateside. Together, they could challenge Newman Media's dominance, push back against Jabot's market hold, and force Chancellor Winters to either compete at a higher level or risk irrelevance. This wouldn't just be about profits, it would be about reshaping the city's power map. And of course, where there's business, romance isn't far behind. Audra's brand of charm is potent, and Kane's mix of charm and intensity has always made him magnetic to the women in Genoa City. The chemistry between these two could ignite quickly, but therein lies the danger. Romantic entanglement would raise the stakes exponentially. Every business decision could be clouded by personal feelings, and every personal slight could have corporate consequences. Lily's reaction to Kane's return, and his potential new partner, would be must-see television. Their shared history is a complicated web of love, betrayal, forgiveness, and loss. While Lily has moved forward, her protective nature toward her family and her stake in Chancellor Winters could compel her to intervene. Would she see Audra as a threat to the company? To Kane himself? Or would old feelings resurface, making the situation even more volatile? Then there's Devon Hamilton. As both Lily's brother and a business leader in Chancellor Winters, Devon could see Kane's return as an encroachment. Add Audra into the mix, a woman Devon has never fully trusted, and the situation becomes combustible. Devon has always been methodical and cautious, but when pushed, he can be ruthless. He might quietly work behind the scenes to undermine the Audra-Kane partnership before it becomes too powerful to challenge. Meanwhile, Nate Hastings could find himself in a position he never expected. His complicated relationship with Audra has been built on equal parts attraction and mistrust. Seeing her turn her attention to Kane could wound his pride, sparking a desire to expose her or sabotage her efforts. Nate's medical career may be behind him, but his skill at reading people remains sharp. If he decides to make himself an obstacle, Audra could find that he's more dangerous outside her circle than in it. Tucker McCall's involvement could be equally intriguing. Tucker has his own history with Kane and a keen interest in Genoa City's corporate chessboard. If he perceives Kane's return as a potential disruption to his plans, or an opportunity to leverage, he could insert himself in ways that force Audra to choose between two equally cunning men. And then there's Victor Newman. The Black Knight has never taken kindly to outsiders building influence without his blessing. If Kane's empire threatens Newman Enterprises' dominance, Victor could shift his attention in a way that makes him a formidable opponent. Audra knows the value of Victor's approval, or at least his neutrality, and could find herself in the unenviable position of having to balance her allegiance to her new partner with keeping the Newman patriarch from declaring all-out war. The layers to this storyline are rich with possibilities. Flashbacks to Kane's past could help new viewers understand his motivations, while longtime fans would appreciate the nods to his history. Perhaps we'd see scenes of him negotiating deals in Sydney, closing acquisitions in London, or navigating the cutthroat world of global business with a skill set he never fully displayed in Genoa City. This would create a sense that Kane has leveled up during his absence, making him not just a returning character, but a more formidable one. For Audra, this could be the storyline that defines her. Aligning with Kane could either solidify her as one of the top power players in Genoa City or set her up for a spectacular fall. If the partnership works, she could command respect from even the most seasoned veterans. If it fails, she could lose everything she's built. And knowing Audra, she wouldn't take that kind of loss quietly. The potential subplots are endless. Maybe Audra uses her Newman Media connections to give Kane's ventures a media boost, causing friction with her former allies. Perhaps Kane's return coincides with a new corporate bidding war that forces alliances to shift daily. Maybe a scandal from Kane's past resurfaces at the worst possible time, and Audra must decide whether to defend him or cut her losses. Even their romantic storyline could splinter into unexpected directions. What if Kane begins to question Audra's loyalty after catching her in a half-truth? What if an old flame of Kane's returns to reclaim him, forcing Audra to fight for both her partner and her position? Conversely, what if Audra begins to develop genuine feelings for Kane, complicating her ability to manipulate him when necessary? In the soap world, the most compelling stories are the ones where the personal and the professional are so intertwined that a blow to one is a blow to both. Audra and Kane's potential alliance has that written all over it. Their moves in the boardroom could ripple through their social circles, and their private arguments could shape corporate strategies. For fans, the appeal of this storyline lies not just in the destination, but in the journey, the slow burn of seeing two ambitious, flawed, and magnetic characters circle each other, test each other, and ultimately decide whether they're better together or apart. If the writers lean into the complexity, this could be one of the standout arcs of the year. It would give Audra the spotlight she's earned and give Kane a fresh layer of intrigue that makes his return feel essential, not just nostalgic. One thing's for sure, Genoa City is at its best when power is up for grabs, and with Kane Ashby rumored to be on the horizon, the entire playing field could be about to shift. Audra Charles has never been afraid to make her move when the stakes are highest. Whether this partnership becomes her crowning achievement or her undoing remains to be seen, but either way, viewers won't be able to look away.